Welcome everyone to another Your Little Castle show. I get excited about some of the guests we got on, but today I'm really excited because here's somebody that has a story that is very, at least to say the least, compelling. A lot of people know my story, bad accident, coma. Mike's going to share with you a little bit about what he went through and what he's overcome and what he's proven is possible out there if you're just willing to go for it. And on top of that, he is a ninja warrior. He's done some of the Ninja Warrior, the American Ninja is what show was, right? And you were in the close to the finals for that, and really got to participate in that excitement and share with everybody what it's like to be on camera as somebody who's doing a great job, really sharing with people your athletic ability and the focus and everything it takes to do that. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it on the actual show, but there was a lot of training with other people that have been on the show, making a lot of good connections in the community. That's what I loved most about the sport itself was the camaraderie between all the people, and the fact that you're not really competing against other people. You're competing against the obstacles. So there's just a lot of camaraderie in the sport and people cheering each other on. I haven't gotten on the show, but I did a lot of competitions in local community gyms.
So you were working against some of the other guys that were on the show.
Yeah,
and competing with them.
Yeah. So what I love about the show is the competitors themselves, even the people that you see on TV. They're such great people. Like I have a friend who has a local gym, and he had a big competition there. And I mean, Daniel Gill and some of the bigger name people came into town and competed at this like backyard tournament where it would almost be the equivalent to having like Patrick Mahomes come play touch football in your backyard. So it's just really cool how the people are, and the camaraderie and the community of it.
Well, that's what we're trying to focus on here as you know, we want people to get to know those leaders in our community that are making a difference. So with that, we want to talk about some of the leaders in our community that are helping us to do this show. So I'll go back to our Insta wide shot, is our Insta cam, and that way you can see our whole studio here. But this is the Your Little Castle studio, sponsored by Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. And we wouldn't have a little castle to live in if we didn't have somebody to help finance that for you. See, that was his Your Little Castle. I explained that to Brooke the other day when I saw him at the big Christmas party for everybody. But if you don't have a place, somebody to help you buy the house, you've got to get a mortgage, right? I do have my mortgage license, and if you're looking to buy a house, go through my team. I work for the USA Mortgage Flowers team here in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area. So with that, now we're going to put up on the website, on our TV walls, the cool stuff we want to show everybody, because how often do you get to see Ninja Warrior? I mean, cool. We're going to get into that a little bit here. But man, just an exciting story you get to share with everybody that we want you to tell everybody about, because it's just neat to see somebody overcome. A lot of people, we're going to have to overcome a lot of hurdles in life. There's nobody on this planet that's going to get through this easy, for free, right? We're all going to have stuff, we're going to challenges in life, but Michael has really overcome some really exciting things that make a difference. So tell me the path a little bit. Why did you decide to get into this? I guess you started early, right? You said you were in high school. Tell me more about that.
As a kid, I wasn't the best in academics. The reasoning, I'm not sure, but it just kind of, I didn't take school very serious. But what I did find is that I had really good work ethic, and I could do things with my hands and build things, and I found a passion in doing that. I dropped out of high school in freshman year, and then that's when I got a job doing roofing as a laborer. From there, I excelled really quickly from labor and moved all the way up to a foreman in a short few years, and started running crews.
So here's a high school kid. Were you still a high schooler? I guess by that time, you said within 3 years, if you started as a sophomore.
Yeah,
you're a foreman telling 35, 45, 55-year-old men what to do, how to run, getting a roof put on a house correctly. What was that like?
It was a learning curve. It's definitely challenging to have to, be in that position. But I think my work ethic and the way that I was the example by working the way I did allowed those people to respect me, even though they were older.
Well, tell me that a little bit more about the path that led you here. I mean, 23 years of roofing now. Along the way, what do you think has helped develop to where now you run your own successful company that has made this a success for you?
So I think personal accountability and just striving to always do excellence in everything that I do. Always doing things at the best of my ability. Even though on a personal side of things, I've had a lot of trials and tribulations throughout the last 23 years and a lot of obstacles that I've had to overcome when it came to my work ethic and how I performed at work and for homeowners and the quality that I would provide in the services. That's what always made me capable to rise and get higher levels in rankings in the businesses I worked at, and then from there eventually start my own company.
Yeah, somebody started off with the ninja background. Tell me a little about that. As a child, where did this ninja thing kick in at? Where did this come from, and why did this become such an interesting endeavor of yours to take on? It kind of helped develop some of the skills, I guess. Being a ninja, you got to be very focused, I guess, is one of the key things. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so actually the roofing is what set me up for the ninja.
Is it?
So I only started doing the ninja about 6 years ago.
Okay.
So after roofing for 18, 19 years at the time, I've just had so many different skills that I had picked up from being able to get around on steep roofs and do a lot of crazy things that even a lot of other roofers wouldn't do. I was kind of coined the roof ninja. And from there, when I had met my wife and her 3 children and adopted them and had a child of my own, I was taking my son for just a birthday party, renting out a parkour place, and come to find out it was a Ninja Warrior gym. And I fell in love with it. It was kind of by happenstance. I fell in love with it, started training, and then in a matter of a few months, I was competing in local tournaments and things like that. And that's kind of how it developed into the love of the ninja sport.
So the hobby that you kind of adopted is the ninja training and becoming a ninja for American Ninja and all of the related stuff that gets into that. Tell me more about that. I mean, as a matter of getting into that, is it just one day you can wake up and you want to do this, or do you have to have connections, or how did you get into it? How did you actually get going with it?
Yeah, so like I said, I was just essentially trying to rent a place out for my son for his birthday. And there's local gyms all over the place, especially since the show's been around for 15 years now or more.
Right.
It's really blown up as a sport. So there's gyms all over the country. So anybody in any state can find a local ninja gym and just go in there and start essentially playing around. And that's what I loved about it most, because I've never been somebody big into going into the gym and standing in front of a mirror and lifting weights. I've been more of a functional fitness kind of guy. That's essentially why I was roofing as well. And so when I found Ninja, it was just really awesome to be able to have fun and do something that's challenging, but then also the byproduct of that is you get in really good shape too. So it's
Right.
not like you're really thinking about the workout aspect of it, but the challenging part of it, the overcoming obstacles, which I think has been a repetitive theme in my life as it is. So Right. it was just cool to see yourself grow, to get through the obstacles. And I feel like the obstacles are a lot like life. When you first get to an obstacle, you have no clue how to get through it, and you try to just muscle through it. A lot of times you fall, a lot of times you burn up because you don't know how to conserve your energy. But then as you do them more and more, you learn how to do it with more precision and be able to conserve energy, which then gives you more energy to complete more obstacles, because at the end of the day, there's multiple obstacles when you do an actual competition or a course. So I really like how it corresponded to life in that way.
Well, that's a great perspective on this, because as somebody it's hard to imagine just waking up one day and say, oh yeah, I'm going to be a ninja today. But there's a path that you went through for this, obviously.
Yes.
And I thought it was more of like you were selected, but it is a little bit more of you start off as like a white belt, or how does that go as a matter of just getting involved? You can just say, hey, I want to try this. You walk in, you're at the starter level. They'll bring on just about anybody who wants to try it, but you then accelerate to the level where you get considered for American Ninja and all that.
Yeah, so there's really no qualifications or anything. I mean, if people are really interested in getting into Ninja, or their kids even, like you can put kids into little camps and stuff at local gyms and get them started at a super early age. It really is as simple as just going and finding a gym and starting to practice and train. Obviously, at first, you're not going to be able to be very good, just like anything else. You're going to fall a lot. You're going to do a lot of tears, a lot of soreness, a lot of frustration, just like any other sport that's challenging. But it's awesome the reward you get as you start seeing yourself grow and you start completing obstacles and getting through things. And then again, I think the best part of it is not only being able to grow and get better at the sport, is also helping other people once you've gotten good. The feeling of cheering other people on and helping them get through their next obstacle, which corresponds with life as well.
Great point there too. Yeah, we're on this little planet together, and we're either going to help other people or we're going to have a struggle. It seems like the more you give back, the more people you help, the easier your life becomes. And that kind of a bit of the message I'm hearing here. And that with 7 years experience now, you've run your business now for 7 years.
Yes.
23 years in the industry. Obviously started at a very young age, everybody. But what's the overlap then? When did the Ninja stuff really kick in for you? Obviously, something you started a little bit later, but do you see how those kind of coincide to help you? Because you're being pushed as a ninja, always be precise and be accurate and be detailed. Does that tie into business too?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been. I used to call myself like beast mode. That's
right.
Like what I would say about how I worked. So I think the roofing, I was already a ninja when it came to how I could get around on roofs. So it was really easy to transition into the ninja because I had a lot of the core strengths. I had a lot of the weird muscle strengths and movements and things like that you have to do to be able to get around on a roof, because obviously climbing around on a roof is similar to like some parkour stuff, which is partially some of the ninja. So it definitely complemented it and set me up for it. Obviously having to overcome a lot of fears, being up heights and a lot of the different things over the years, different types of jobs, different types of complexities, you learn to overcome quite a few fears when you're a roofer. So it makes it a lot easier to then try other things that are challenging without worrying so much about it. At least Ninja, you're only about 4 feet off of a mat instead of 40 feet in the air. So
if you want to train to be a ninja, start off as a roofer, everybody, and then you can become the roofing ninja along the way. But to me, it's always the professions. When you get very serious about what you want to be when you grow up, and my dad always talked to me about, you're going to ultimately have to specialize in something. And so how do you develop those skills to really drill it and focus? And to me, a ninja is just that's like elite, crazy stuff. You're the ninja expert in the roofing industry, and you've done some crazy expert training as a ninja after you just developed a lot of skills as a roofing guy who now has a very successful roofing business. So to me, that's pretty exciting and a great story to tell. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about, we'll get into some of the depth, some of the hurdles in life you've overcome. What's the question we always ask on here? But tell me, what's the passion you have for this? What is it that makes you wake up every day? You say, man, I just love getting up every day to help people. What is it you enjoy most about what you do with your business?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, coming from the fact that I've been a tradesman for the majority of my life. So the actual work itself, installing roofs. I know a lot of people don't really like roofing in general, the trade. It's more about the overall company and what it does for the community. But I've actually personally loved being a roofer. I like working with my hands, like building things, like seeing the finished product after doing something that most people can't do or won't do because of the trade that it is. So I just lost it. Should I just keep going?
Yeah, keep going, man. You're doing great. we let it slide here because we like to hear what people are really talking about. Nobody's perfect. Nobody goes through life without making a mistake. So we just like to hear people just tell us about it.
But yeah, I mean, so essentially, like what I like doing, one is providing quality over quantity when it comes to the roof installs. I like to help homeowners, and just the growth and the journey that I've went through. I always considered myself as a roofer, a really good roofer, and now that I've taken that transition more into business ownership, and once I stepped out and started doing sales, and decided to finally hang up my belt, which was a super hard decision
Right.
to do because that was my identity. My identity was I'm a roofer, I'm a builder, right? Hard worker with my hands. So in order to take that kind of leap of faith and say, okay, I'm going to hang up my belt and I'm going to put on a collared shirt and pants and go knock doors and talk to people, it was definitely a hard challenge. But then I started realizing that I'm really good at talking to people. I'm really good at communicating, really good at being personal with people instead of salesy and pushy. And it just really translated over well. And I was like, man, I'm actually pretty good at this sales thing. And then from there, I hired some coaches and some mentors in the business side of things to really help me grow in a quicker manner than somebody that tries to do everything on their own. And that allowed me to excel a lot quicker, and went from salesman to hiring my own sales team and moving into the more CEO ownership position, and started just filling different positions. But I think now the overall passion that I have now is, still really paying attention to the production and the quality of things, but also being able to help many people with jobs in the sales side of things and in the actual install side of things, because what we provide right now with the All-American in-house labor is essentially opportunities for young Americans that still want to get into the trades and learn and realize that there's still good money in the trades, and give them skills that they can learn and hard work to grow up and use for something in the future.
Wow. So not just providing a good place for people to live, but a great career path and helping people to understand the skills. How many people do you think you've trained that went off and now started off and doing their own thing, and really helping people to learn to develop and run a business too? It seems that you're kind of just out there to make sure and contribute any way that you can, and that's what we're looking for, the leaders in our community that are looking to really help people. And to throw on top of it, he happens to be a ninja, by the way, everybody. So if you're looking for somebody that can get in front of people and say, hey, we got you, we're going to take care of this, we're going to get this, and don't mess with anybody or in our team here, because we're going to make sure this works the way that it's supposed to. Key, very important. All right, well, I snuck off here for a second and wanted to go pull up some of your reviews, because I had a suspicion that your reviews were pretty good. You got a 4.9. What happened, Mike? You got 0.1.
I'll tell you what happened.
Was there one person that didn't give you a perfect score? They gave you a 4. I like your average. It's not like he has 5,000 reviews. You got to be a little bit wary of those who have 5,000 5-star reviews. Everybody, there's something going on there, right? But when you have 50 reviews, very organic, and you got a 4.9, there's something you've done well. Tell me a little bit about how you feel you've deserved and worked to get these reviews.
Yeah, I mean, we just try to do it one roof at a time, one customer at a time, and just do our best. I mean, it is a lot easier than a lot of people probably make it out to be. Just do your best, from beginning to the end, from customer service to the install to the communication to the product to the warranties and everything. If you do everything at the best of your ability, you're going to end up winning. I mean, you're never going to please everybody. There's always going to be that homeowner that, like the one star that I have was actually from a homeowner calling, leaving a message on the website and never getting a call back, and that was why there was the 1-star review. So
wow.
It's 1 star I feel isn't really warranted for something like that. Usually that's 1 stars for like you did something for us and there was a bad experience. So, but you can't control everybody's fingers.
They didn't call me back instantly. Well, I'm gonna read a couple of reviews you've got here because you've done great. This is Mike and his company were great to work with. Our house looks wonderful after the facelift to the roof, siding, and gutters. Thanks, Mike. That's from Tom Rogers. As I randomly select, I'm like, where's the one review that didn't give but everything else is a 5.0, everybody. Let's scroll down here a little bit further down. But Kevin Simpson was the best salesperson ever, super responsive, professional, helped us through the entire process. Because when you're going through this entire process, there's a lot that you have to work on, because when you're going, when a roof, this is like where somebody lives, right? This is their livelihood, where they, their kids and family and everything. They're going, I got water come pouring in here. Walk me through that process a little bit. Why do you think you guys do such a good job there?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, me being a tradesman in the industry, I haven't gotten really big yet to where most homeowners have dealt with me personally. I'm just now getting into the place now where I have multiple salesmen. So as you saw on the review, Kevin Simpson was got a raving review for his work on that one. But a lot of times, and even with the salesmen, I'm still very hands-on with dealing with the customers. So they get to hear from me and my knowledge in the industry of the actual work. So when you have leaks, things like that, I can really troubleshoot things, and I can really find issues quickly. And I can also explain things to a homeowner in a manner where essentially a lot of other companies may not have that knowledge. So I think they really respect the fact that, with my background, I can come in, I can troubleshoot, I can find a leak, tell them exactly what's happening, why it's happening, what materials or what things were done correct or poorly, and what can be done correctly to, fix the problem.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This help us to understand why Mike also has great reviews. Otherwise, we've got a video testimonial. Speaking of reviews, so I'm going to put this up for everybody to see. So they're going to see it on the screen, Mike. Tell everybody about what's going on here.
Mike and his guys were top notch.
So this one was done
a couple
years ago.
I'm sorry, he's talking. Let him talk for just a second because you can't hear him on this one.
I can't say enough good things about him. All-American crew, timely, safe, clean. These guys did a great job. Highly recommend them. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you guys.
There you go. So, Mike, tell us why he was so happy and what was going on with that roof. It's the roof it's on. We're going to show everybody your website a little bit too. But this roof that he was on, that he was talking about, is part of what you show off on your website too.
Yes, we got some drone footage. That was a really, really special roof. This homeowner, he had a 130-year-old Victorian roof that he had down in St. Louis. He's a builder himself. He's done a lot of home building in a lot of different states, so he's really particular about who he uses. This home is his personal home that he's building out. So when he sought out some contractors, he kind of had some bad experience with another contractor, and then from there found me, actually through a family member that had did some work for him on the house in other trades. We came in, and this house had a lot of work that needed to be done. The original roof, you can see on this picture here, was an old red roof, multiple layers, a lot of old stuff on it, because it had been so old. And we came in, we gutted the whole thing out, installed skylights, installed new cupola caps, a 50-12 cone turret that was 3 stories in the air, all with a designer shingle, a certainteed grand manner. So all of those aspects made it somebody that had more experience in the craftsman side of things. So we came in, we took care of the job, and he was super happy with it.
Well, that's what we like to hear about, because especially when you're building, you mentioned he's a builder himself, somebody that is going to be very particular about the specifics and make sure it looks right. So he's going to only hire somebody that's going to do a great job. Obviously, they got a good reference for you, and you came in to do the job with that. We're going to share with everybody a little bit of your website. I'm going to put your website up on the wall for everybody here. Okay. So there is. Take a look, everybody. Great looking website. Lots of information there, but they do show off some of their work and what they do and some of the expertise that they bring to the table. Some great examples here, as you can see: roof replacement, roof repair, storm damage, new construction, commercial roofing, insurance claims. Boy, that's a big topic for a lot of people. Some more reviews there for everybody too, and then you can actually chat with his crew, Mike's crew there, as you get back in touch with him to make sure that he's getting the work done for you guys in a timely fashion. And that's what we like to show off. Tell me then, what is it that you feel like really sets you guys apart when it comes down to it? What makes the difference? Because there's a few roofing guys in St. Louis. Yeah. What do you think makes it so people say, we got to go with second to none? They're the best.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There are a lot of roofing companies in St. Louis, but I think what sets us apart is, one, the all-American labor, the in-house labor, but also the quality, the workmanship, and the fact that I'm a tradesman-owned business. So the knowledge that I have in the industry for the actual products makes a big difference. And at the end of the day, most companies, people buy from people, not from the companies, essentially. So it's the person behind the name, and I think that I represent that really well.
Well, yeah, and I know somebody like yourself. Tell me, if you would, a little bit. I mentioned before you went through a major hurdle. Do you want to discuss that at all, or what are your feelings about talking about something you've overcome? And you don't have to be very specific, but boy, it's something that affects a lot of people on this little planet, and you really did a great job of overcoming something in life that made it. It was wonderful to see that you've come through.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind telling the story. So even though I've always had work ethic and I've always been somebody that could excel in the business side of things, I always had a problem on the personal side in my life for many of my younger years with choices with the people that I decided to hang out with, and I found myself in my later 20s addicted to drugs, and had fallen pretty badly into bad choices, drugs, things like that, to the point where I was essentially homeless. I was living, jumping couch to couch. Duffel bag was all that I owned, was just some clothes, and had gotten into some trouble with the law as well on multiple occasions. So I had gotten to a point where I had a choice to make. It was either keep down this path, end up in jail or dead, or get my life together, and that's what I did. And when I decided to get clean from the drugs, I met my wife and her 3 kids not long after that. That was a huge turning point in my life, and then from there I just started grinding and working and doing the best I could in every area, not just in the work side of things. And having those kids, my kids in my life, at the time was huge in helping me stay clean as well, because I've always loved kids, and not to put too much personal out there, but my 3 adopted children have had a pretty rough past as well. So it was like an instant connection for both of us, and we both helped each other in that time. And from there, I just kept trying to do better and be better every day. And it didn't take long, and I started, found the ninja, started doing that, fell in love with that, started my business 7 years ago. So really, things just started snowballing. So it's amazing what you can do when you just put one foot in front of the other, and you just try to do the best you can, get 1% better every single day, and just do the best you can. And then in 5 years, 10 years, you look back and you're a completely different person.
That's the kind of story we like to talk about, everybody. So somebody who's been through some hurdles. How many people go through it, whether it be alcohol, drugs, a horrible situation where calamity within your family, you lose a lot of family members or people close to you, and a lot of people, that's too much for them to overcome. And just to hear your testimony about how you overcame it and now have become very successful, I think it's very inspiring for a lot of people, and that's what we really like other people to see too, because very often life is so tough, and they just need to hear somebody else who's made it, and you did it. So good work.
I appreciate you.
All right, everybody, stay tuned for more. This is the Your Little Castle Show, Show 1. We've got 2 half-hour interviews. We wanted Mike to talk a little bit more about his background in depth, and we're going to go another half hour here. We're going to start with some great questions like, what's a big mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to make a decision about what house to buy? Stay tuned for more, everybody. Giddy up.